Hey everybody, I'm Brad Palumbo, and you're watching BradReacts on Right Now, where we react to and debunk the craziest and cringiest political content that's going viral on social media. Today, we're looking at non-binary TikToks, and some of them are a bit over the top. Producer Zeke, let's roll the first one.
Today's segment of explaining terms in the LGBTQ+ community, we have non-binary. There's a ton of different descriptions about what non-binary is, but the simplest one I could find is on Wikipedia, where it states that non-binary is a gender spectrum which is not exclusively male or female. Non-binary folks identify out of the typical gender binary. Now you might be asking, the heck is a gender binary? Gender binary is the classification of gender into two distinct forms of masculine and feminine. Most non-binary folks use the pronouns they, them. Please remember that non-binary is a spectrum, and if you have a friend that's non-binary and you're not sure what they're comfortable with, don't be afraid to ask them. Most people aren't offended if you accidentally misgender them. Just correct yourself and respect their pronouns after that. More information will be down in the comments, and I'll probably be doing intersex next.
Okay, so that's a pretty interesting breakdown, I would say, of what they mean with this concept of non-binary. Also, mad yo-yo skills. I do respect it. I appreciate the yo-yoing going on there. Wow, giving your talk. I don't know that I could do this while yo-yoing or while doing much of anything else, so that's impressive. But onto the actual substance of this. I do think as a concept there are some things about this that I just don't understand. We have to start with the fact that biological sex is real, it's not a choice, and 99+% of people are either biologically male or female, with rare exceptions like intersex people. But when they talk about identifying with a different gender or with neither gender, they're talking about social norms and gender expressions. And okay, I'm open to a conversation that maybe people can identify with something different than what is traditional, but we need to talk about what that really means. And when they say I don't identify with femininity or masculinity or man or woman, the definition of what they're not identifying with is unfortunately very gender stereotypical. I don't identify as a woman because I don't like dresses or makeup or pink. Well, hang on. A woman doesn't have to like those things. A man can like those things. So I guess, while everybody should live their life and be their best selves, right? I don't understand really why we can't just be men who are more feminine and women who maybe don't like traditionally feminine things. And why we have to invent these whole new identity categories rather than just growing and expanding our normal to embrace people who do things a little bit differently. But again, live your life. The problem with this is that some of the non-binary stuff that you'll get on TikTok and in left-wing spaces goes to a very, very far extreme. Zeke, let's roll the next one.
Well, sometimes people aren't boys or girls. They don't fall into these neat little categories of boy and girl, and that's totally okay. Sometimes people are in between, or they're neither boy or girl, or they're a combination of boy and girl, and that's called non-binary. And there's nothing wrong with being non-binary.
So my question based on this video is, why are you talking about non-binary to kids? I mean, that seems like something that would just confuse children about very basic concepts when 99+% of kids are not going to identify as non-binary, are comfortable with the sex they were born as. And so why we're broaching any of these subjects, whether it's sexuality or gender politics or the trans umbrella issues with young children, it doesn't make any sense to me. So it's not how you should be doing it. You really shouldn't be doing it at all. Of course, there are going to be situations where you have a kid that's genuinely has gender dysphoria or is gender nonconforming. And in those situations, right, you are going to have conversations with that kid and their classmates, but those should be case-by-case bases. I don't see why we should be pushing this kind of woke gender politics on kids at all. Zeke, let's go with the next one.
I love when parents are like, I'm going to raise my child non-binary until they figure out how they want to identify, because I don't want to force gender roles onto my child. And then conservatives will be like, oh, no, you can't force a made-up gender upon your child. And then proceed to force one of two made-up genders onto their child.
Okay, well, where to start with that one? First of all, you're not forcing made-up genders on your child. 99+% of kids identify completely and naturally with the gender that they were assigned at birth and the sex that they were assigned at birth. So you're not pushing anything made up on them. And the idea of raising a child as non-binary, you see this in these viral stories about parents that are raising their infants as babies. That is just crazy town talk right there. I mean, you are going to impose this view and this identity on a child who almost certainly is not actually going to experience that identity, and you're just going to confuse children hopelessly, and I think deprive them of very basic gender norms and being comfortable in their sense of self at a very young age. That's just totally unnecessary. So we can have all these conversations about adults, doing whatever they want, older teenagers, if they identify in different ways, but let's not push this on literal babies, guys. Zeke, let's roll the next one.
Hey, thank you so much for coming. I'm Ezra. My pronouns are they, them. Can I get your name and your pronouns? My name is Ryan, and my pronouns are normal. Oh my gosh, neopronouns. Yeah, we actually love and support those here. Let me just let everybody know. Hi guys. So this is Ryan. Nor's pronouns are normal. So if we could make sure to use those so that Nor feels comfortable around us, I'm pretty sure Nor would greatly appreciate it. No, I meant that my pronouns are the normal pronouns. I'm sorry, normal pronouns? Everybody has different pronouns. I'm just a guy, so I just have guy pronouns, okay? None of this weird shit. I'm sorry, guy pronouns? Yeah, I was born a man, and I identify as a man now. So, none of this weird shit. Oh, I get it. Everyone, this is Ryan. His pronouns are he, him, and he's a bigot.
So this brings me back to my campus days for two reasons, right? Because it kind of demonstrates to me two things from two different sides. One is, it's a good rule of thumb to not be a jerk. So if you go into an event at some woke campus or in a liberal space and they ask for pronouns, don't troll people, don't aggressively misgender people to go out of your way to invalidate them or whatever, though you're fully entitled to your beliefs. And that's what I have on the other side, a problem with this video. It is not true to say that there's no such thing as normal pronouns. Almost everybody goes by he or she and in accordance with their biological sex. That's just reality. Those are the normal, those are the typical pronouns. Now that's not cause to be mean or nasty to anyone else, but let's not pretend that it is abnormal to go by those pronouns or that it makes you a bigot to not be on board with neo-pronouns, which is when somebody, as referenced in this video, goes by pronouns that aren't even he or she or they, but goes by things like z and zer and them or other, literally anything. I mean, these people say that anything can be a pronoun. You can just call anything. And here's my problem with that, right? You don't have the right to impose onto other people random pronouns that you've decided that you identify with. And it doesn't make other people a bigot just for not being on board with that level of extremity. Zeke, let's roll the next one.
Cool. Hey, I'm lesbian. I don't get it. Can someone please explain it to me so I can understand?
Hello, my name's Phoebe. I use they, them pronouns primarily, and he, him is sort of like a secondary pronoun, and I'm a lesbian. So somebody tagged me in this. Nice to meet you. Pronouns do not equal gender, and that's the whole thesis statement and the answer to your question, basically. Digging a little deeper into that, though, lots of lesbians have complicated relationships with gender for all kinds of various reasons. Lesbians who were socialized as women and are not attracted to men, have a really weird experience in patriarchal society and the male gaze and all of these things. So it's very common to feel incredibly disconnected from womanhood as a concept. Anyone who is a non-man who is attracted to non-men, if they so choose and feel comfortable doing so, can identify as a lesbian. And that's a lot of people. I would just suggest that you apologize to your coworker and say that you didn't understand the vibe. You didn't mean to hurt their feelings.
No. This is one, they may be well-intentioned, but I'm having absolutely none of this. I can talk about this as a gay person, right, as part of this community. The excessive gender identity, sometimes it goes so far that they start erasing gay people and erasing what it means to be a lesbian. A lesbian is not a non-male person who is attracted to other non-male people. A lesbian is a woman who is attracted to other women. If you identify as he, him, or any of that, if you identify as non-binary, you're specifically saying you don't identify as a woman. We can talk about that. You can have your own space, but you are not allowed to basically woke colonize other people's space and redefine what homosexuality means in accordance with your ever-shifting gender norms in the woke edges of TikTok. I'm having absolutely none of it. It doesn't make any sense, and more importantly, it is not your right to redefine other people's identity that have been around for decades, that they've fought hard to establish and have normalized and get rights and get accepted by society. You do not get to redefine that for us and what it means. And frankly, if that makes me Enbyphobic or non-binary phobic, I'm okay with that.
People are still Enbyphobic? Don't y'all got to do? Don't y'all got like bills to pay? Things to do with your life? Maybe mind your business? Anything. Literally anything. Y'all just worrying about other people's gender. What are you doing, bro?
So I kind of agree with this guy in one sense, right? Like, live your life. Don't worry about other people's business. If somebody else wants to go by different pronouns or do whatever, they're not really affecting you in theory. And so I agree with him to a sense. But like I just showed you, it's not actually just other people living their own lives. They're demanding to redefine what homosexuality means, what lesbianism means, and they're demanding to define what language you can use. So then we do get an opinion, and it's not bigoted just to say that you're not fully on board with it. So yes, live your life, give other people space to live theirs how they want, but no, it is not off limits to push back on the excesses of some of this woke nonsense. All right, that's about all of the woke TikToks in the non-binary space that I can handle today. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. I want to break 200 likes. That's the goal. I'm setting it right now. And let me know in the comments what you think of the whole non-binary thing and these TikToks that I just played for you, because some of them were interesting, if I say so myself. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can join us next time on BradReacts.